kind of curious what you thought about Jackson, the night that he had, and what he brought to the table.
Yeah, I mean, he's been pretty consistent for the whole season, and I thought he was electric last week, and I thought he just has continued to grow in the offense. So it's been really positive to see him, and had a couple obviously great runs in the game that I thought were great, but I feel like he showed it really all season so far.
Matt, take me through, if you could, the blocked punt. Clearly you got to it quickly, but executed perfectly.
Yeah, well, and the who is what's even more rewarding. I mean, it was awesome. It was Miles Mendezoon gets the block, I think, and Caden Matson, who's kind of been, just a warrior for this program, and a kid that just keeps showing up that obviously gets the touchdown. But, we felt like there was an opportunity maybe to take a shot in the game, and obviously they have an elite punter. That unit has been, number one in the country, to be honest with you, coming into the game. And so we just felt like we had to mix and match both the return and potentially a block in the game, and timing and obviously great execution in the moment.
And related, I guess a bigger question relating to special teams hasn't always been a topic that people are
right.
talking that happy about, but you've got a game winner on a special teams play, you've got a game changer on a special teams play, you've got another block punt. Can you talk about just how that unit is thriving right now?
Well, I think special teams is really definitive of the character of your team in a lot of ways, right? I mean, I just feel like for us, our kids, no matter what your role, whether it's 10 plays a game or, tonight you're Rylan Barnes and your number gets called, and no different than Carson Brown last week, you step up and you do what you're ready to do for the betterment of the team. And I feel like at least this team gets that from top to bottom, and I felt that way really. I know we talked about before the season started what makes this team unique. At least so far, there's been a great buy-in value from the top of the roster to the bottom of the roster, and I think things like special teams and a guy like Ryan and Carson stepping up, those are positive moments for Iowa State football.
Hey, Coach, earlier in the week you had mentioned that the second half would be a focus with the way that Baylor likes to play. What do you feel like your team did in that?
Yeah, I thought we made really good adjustments, and I thought we physically had the ability to play really positive football. Again, I think you went into that knowing that Iowa State and Baylor, at least so far in the early part of the season, had been really good in the second, third, and fourth quarters of games. And we just knew it'd be a four-quarter game, and that's why I appreciate our team not panicking. When it was a little bit, maybe not the start we probably would wanted to have in the football game, but I think our kids understood we need to play 60 minutes, and we just kept hanging around early in the game, and just kind of lack execution early that we're going to have to get fixed. But I thought we really did a great job physically and made some great adjustments in the second half.
Rocco connected on a couple of deep balls to Jalen today. What makes him so good in that area after maybe being a little bit inconsistent earlier?
Yeah, I don't know if Rocco, people keep asking, man, I can't say enough about what that kid has done for us. Obviously he'd love to take the play right before half, but he's trying to throw the ball away, and I think it just slipped to be able to get it completely out of bounds. But man, the plays that kid has made and the ability to execute, I think you look at what we've been able to do in execution and being able to move the ball down the field. I think he's playing as good as anybody right now, and I'm really proud of what he's done. And, some of those throws down the field, man, those aren't easy throws. He's a great catchable ball, and it's great to have great targets to throw to, but I think his ability to have poise in the moment and be able to read the entire field, the thing that's fun about those, it's not the first read, it's the second, third, or fourth read in the progression, and tells you his moxie and maybe his growth.
Did you feel like the wind changed anything with the passing game or the kicking game?
No, not at all. No, it died down. We were worried about it early. Maybe in kickoff a little bit early in the game, you couldn't get some of the balls, out of the end zone, kicking. I think towards Jacobson. But other than that, I didn't really think it had a huge effect, and it was kind of swirling.
Matt, big plays all over the field tonight to kind of piggyback off that. 9 plays of 20-plus yards. What allowed the offense to do that with such consistency?
Well, again, I think we're really fortunate right now. We've got a lot of really good football players, and you can't have big plays without really talented players. And so, I think just our guys making plays in the moments, and honestly, we left a lot out there. I think that's the thing. As I know, I'm sometimes hard to deal with in our staff, but like you left a lot out there tonight, and we had some plays we needed to make and need to make as we get ourselves moving forward. And I think we'll take some of the positive and also take some of the learning lessons and say, man, how do we do a great job moving forward? But you got to have great players, and our great players certainly stood up and made some big plays for us tonight.
With great players, I think everybody knows how good Higgins and Noel are individually. When you're able to put both of them on the field, how does that impact your offense and what a defense can and can't take away?
Yeah, I think the thing to make those two guys unique is they can really play anywhere, and they're not just an inside guy or an outside guy. They can really play across the spectrum. And so, I think to be able to try to find ways to create matchups for those guys that are positive, that's really important. And then you got to have a guy that can execute those matchups when they present themselves. But, those two guys, they obviously have done great things for us and will continue to play great football for us.
Darian?
Yeah, Darian obviously was tweaked last week a little bit. We thought it was a game time decision, really thought he would play. I think kind of like Steve-O a little bit. I think he'll be ready to go next week, but just wasn't ready to play tonight.
Last week was a big moment for you personally, but tonight you guys go 5-0 for the first time since 1980. How cool is it to be a part of something like that with this group?
Well, I just say this group, it's fun to watch young people that demand to do things the right way and continue to buy in. And I know I'll get crap for this, but the process that it takes to be successful, and that's really what it is. And the reality of our kids understanding the value of how you come every day to work, how you come, and whether you won the game, you lost the game, how do you demand to get yourself better? And I think it's hard to find young people that'll buy into that, and I think our kids, at least right now, have bought into that process. So when you watch them have the resiliency in the moment throughout football games and don't let negatives turn to, man, all of a sudden you can't get out of it, those things are really rewarding to watch. And so I'm really proud of the leadership on our team because I think they've done a great job leading this group so far.
What's the process of teaching a team to kind of buy in, like you keep talking about this group having done so this season?
I think the reality of it is you have to go through hard things. And, man, the senior leadership of this group has been through, we've been through a lot of hard, and we've been through tough situations. We've been through good situations, and we've had to learn all of it. And, I've always said this place, there's no quick fix. You're going to have to go through it. You're going to have to learn through it. You're going to have to grow through it. And, again, when you look at what these seniors have been able to do in their career and, have been through some good days and been through some really tough days here. What those tough days do is give you scars, and they give you scars that help you reflect when you get yourself back in some of the moments. I think this group's done a great job of learning from those.
What did your defense do to go from giving up 3 fairly long touchdown drives to giving up nothing after that?
Yeah, I felt like even in some of those plays, we were a hair off, and a lot of those plays came in the passing game. And so, I really just felt like our ability to kind of hang in there, make some of the corrections we needed to make. Really, it wasn't we didn't change our scheme, or we didn't really do much different in terms of what we were doing. I think it was more so how we were doing it. And I thought our kids really settled in after those first couple of drives of the game.
Obviously, talking about a guy like Miles Purchase, obviously, early on got a couple of pass interference calls and obviously got hit in the head. I don't know if you know any of his stats. Seemed to be fine playing the rest of the game. And then obviously, getting those 2 pass breakups or later on in the game. Kind of just talk about his performance today.
Yeah, again, man, it's not easy to play corner right now in college athletics, and really no matter what level of sport, corner's tough. And you got to have great resiliency, and again, those are one-on-one matchups out there, and sometimes, with how they're calling DPI, which I think those are good calls along the way, but the reality of it is you got to play the next play. And, I think Miles has got that mental toughness, and again, he's a kid that's been through a lot here. He's a senior, and, man, he continues to battle away. So I was really proud of his resiliency tonight for sure.
Thank you, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.